UFC Austin, Dariush versus Tsarukyan is coming up in a couple weeks, and today I have the complete betting guide for you guys. We're going to talk about the last bets that I made for the previous card. And again, timestamps are there if you'd like to skip to any particular part of the video. We're going to talk confident picks, underdog opportunities, fights that I think you should stay away from when it comes to betting. We're going to talk lock of the week, and then we're going to go with some potential parlays at the end of the video. We're going to get into all of that in just a second. Before we do, though, I do want to say hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm a guy with too many YouTube channels, and welcome back to another complete betting guide video. Guys, timestamps are there if you'd like to skip to any particular part of the video. Let's start with last week's bets. So guys, I had a little bit of mixed success when it comes to last week, but I did have that in the notes. Like if you see at the very beginning for the UFC Vegas 82 official plays, I said that this is a very tough week for betting. The matchmakers did a fantastic job at making pretty even matchups. Keep that in mind. I'm prepared for a lot of upsets this weekend, and I didn't bet a lot of money on this card, especially because knowing that the potential for mixed success was there. Now, another thing that I did say, I'll just walk you through what I wrote here. Sergio Pettis and Paul Craig are a huge gamble. I'm not confident in either of them to win. I'm throwing money at the odds with a 3-1 and 5-1. In my opinion, the main event is a 50-50 fight, so Paul's worth the money. And Sergio has been insanely impressive since his move over to Bellator. The size difference worries me, and like I said, both of those came to fruition. Now, another thing I did say is I'm taking a chance with the over on Amanda Ribas. I only bet it because women's MMA tends not to finish fights, but I could see her getting finished this time around. Let's take a look at what I wrote here. So the bets that I ended up placing was a 2-fight parlay, both Ailin Perez and Michael Morales to win, which was a very nice win there. Then we had Lucy Pudilova versus Ailin Perez over 1.5 rounds. That was a given. Mick Parkin to win. Whew, I thought that was a robbery. Thought that was a robbery, but Mick Parkin got it done. Then we had another 2-fight parlay with Peyton Talbot to win and Lucy Pudilova versus Ailin Perez over 1.5 rounds. That ended up being nice. Same with the 2-fight parlay with Amanda Ribas and Lucy Pudilova going both over 1.5 rounds. Now, the single bet that I threw here was Paul Craig to win. In my last betting guide, I said to not bet on Paul Craig. The reason that I decided to throw my money on Paul Craig, my reasoning behind it, like not betting, was this is a true 50-50 fight, but I caught Paul Craig at a 5-1 underdog, so I was like, for a 50-50 fight, I'm going to throw my money at it. I knew Paul Craig could absolutely lose the fight, and he got destroyed, so I went into that knowing I could lose my money. Now, Charles Johnson versus Rafael Estevam over 1.5 rounds. Obviously, that was a little bit of a given there. Now, this one shocked me. This one absolutely shocked me. Chase Hooper versus Jordan Levitt over 1.5 rounds. I thought it was just going to be an awesome grappling match for to a decision, which it was, but it wasn't to a decision. Chase Hooper looked good, man. I wanted to bet on Chase Hooper, but I just wasn't confident enough to pull the trigger. I should have done it, man. The dude is still improving. Now, Lucas Alexander versus Jekka Sarik over 1.5 rounds. Thought these two were going to strike possibly all the way to a decision, but Jekka came in there, just caught him. A little bit of a fluke in my opinion, but still, regardless, really, really nice way there. Now we had a 3-fight parlay. Get into the parlays. This is where I struggled a little bit because Chase Hooper, Jordan Levitt really, really hurt me there. Same with Lucas Alexander in another 2-fight parlay. Then I had another 2-fight parlay that hit Peyton Talbot and Michael Morales both to win. And of course, I had a little bit of a 4-fight parlay for fun. We had Lucas Alexander, Mick Parkin, Peyton Talbot, and Michael Morales. Lucas Alexander, of course, was the only struggle there. And then I had one single bet on Bellator, Sergio Pettis to win. And like Paul Craig, I understood going in there that I could be losing my money with that one. I just like the odds for Sergio Pettis at a 3-1 underdog because he's been very, very impressive since his move over to Bellator. Then I ended it with another note. Again, be very careful this week. I'm prepared for the possibility of losing this week. Thank you as always for the support, which anybody is a member. We have very few right now. Thank you so much for the support. If you'd like to unlock my official plays every single week, every single Thursday or Friday, I will be posting them. Check out the channel membership. Very, very cheap, by the way. We still in the plus, but we struggled just a little bit. Like Lucas Alexander was the big problem there. Other than that, we had some nice success here. Had some very good success. I'm ready for this weekend, man. It's gonna be a real good one for betting, in my opinion. Let's start off the card with the confident picks, guys. And I'm feeling real good this week, to be honest with you. I'm feeling really good about this week, but of course, there's always some upsets coming through UFC. It's why we love watching it right now. And it's important to note, I'm not going to be breaking down each one of these fights. I'm going to be briefly saying why I believe these fighters are confident picks. I have an entire full card breakdown if you'd like to watch me go a little bit more in depth with this card, but I'm going to pick Zachary Reese for my first confident pick. While I was worried about Zachary Reese coming to the UFC because we haven't seen a lot from him, all his fights have been relatively quick. Cody Brundage does not belong in the UFC. Cody Brundage is a guy who will come in there, he'll gas out, he'll throw a guillotine, and then end up on bottom and get beat up. Zachary Reese has finishing potential both on the feet and on the ground. I believe that pretty much any fighter right now will beat Cody Brundage. He had a fluke win. He pulled an Aljamain Sterling. He was getting destroyed in this fight. And I would imagine Zach Reese is going to also destroy Cody Brundage. Now, guys, this one's important to know. I almost didn't include this in my confident picks, okay? Because it's a little bit less than a confident pick. I've been sitting back and I've been thinking about it more and more. And I've been thinking about the improvements that we've seen Wellington Turman make. In this new weight division, he's been training with Alex Pereira. He's been training with Glover Teixeira. I'm going to pick Wellington Turman in this fight. My full card breakdown video, I wasn't sure, but I've been thinking about it more. I've been really sitting on this. I like his performance against Randy Brown, man. While it was a little bit lackluster, you could see the Alex Pereira in his striking. We've seen him make improvements more and more. And now I'm sitting this and I'm thinking like, okay, we have Jared Gooden here who is nothing impressive. We've seen Wellington Turman come in here and look better and better. I just have a feeling on this one, man. It's important to note, while this isn't my confident pick section, I almost didn't include him, okay? So, I'm definitely not confident to bet on. I'm just saying, I like Wellington Turman in this matchup, man. I really do. My next confident pick is going to be Joaquim Silva, okay? He's taking on Clay Guida, and we've seen Joaquim Silva. How does Joaquim Silva lose? He loses by knockout. Who does Clay Guida knock out? Nobody. Clay Guida is almost 42 years old. He's slowing down in his career. Joaquim Silva is coming off of a win where he almost finished Arman Tsarukyan. That was crazy. While he did lose that fight, he almost finished Arman Tsarukyan. I have no problem thinking that he's going to get the better of Clay Guida here. I love Clay Guida. I hope he wins, but man, Joaquim Silva, in my opinion, is just going to have his way with Clay Guida in this fight. Now, guys, my next confident pick is going to be Kelvin Gastelum. Guys, I've talked about this for so long on the channel. Kelvin Gastelum is moving down to welterweight. Apparently, his diet's under control, and this is important to note. This is a healthy Kelvin Gastelum I'm talking about. I'm going to wait to bet on Kelvin Gastelum. I want to bet on Kelvin Gastelum. I almost want to because he's an underdog right now, man. But I want to wait until we see the scales for Kelvin Gastelum. According to him and his team, his diet's under control. He's in shape. Let's assume those are true. We've seen Kelvin Gastelum at welterweight before. He steamrolls the division. He's going to steamroll a guy like Sean Brady. He's going to chin a guy like Sean Brady, who got chinned by Bilal Muhammad. Bilal Muhammad finishes nobody. Sean Brady's been out for a year now. Kelvin Gastelum has been performing well against middleweights. He performed even better against welterweights back in the day. This dude has, if Sean Brady's going to come in there and grapple, Kelvin Gastelum has the grappling to nullify it and potentially even get the better of Sean Brady. I think Kelvin Gastelum's going to throw a 1-2. Sean Brady's going to go down. Kelvin Gastelum was almost my lock of the week. In saying that, though, wait until the weigh-ins. Let's see how Kelvin Gastelum looks. If everything's looking good, he is a very, extremely confident pick of mine. Now, guys, the last confident pick I have for you is going to be Rob Font. And most of this is because Rob Font's taking on Davison Figueiredo, who is coming up for the 125-pound division. And what did he have at the 125-pound division? He had size and he had power. He's not going to have that. He might carry some power over, but he's definitely not going to have the size advantage in the bantamweight division. Davison Figueiredo is 35 years old, getting towards the end of his career, and you can't be 35 in this division. I understand Rob Font's 36, but Davison Figueiredo is moving up to the toughest division in all of combat sports, who relied on his toughness and his chin. His hands are going to be down. He's going to be eating shots. Can he eat those shots from Rob Font, who's going to have more range and more power in this division? I don't think it's going to look good for him. I think Rob Font is going to box his face off in this fight and potentially get a finish. Now, guys, let's talk about some underdog opportunities. And is it important to note that while these are underdog opportunity sections, these are not necessarily my picks. If you're looking forward to my picks, you have to check out the full card breakdown video. I'm just saying that if you're looking for underdog money, these are the underdogs on the card that I could see performing and actually getting a win here. It's just, it wouldn't shock me. That's all I'm saying if these guys got a win, okay? So the first underdog opportunity I have for you is going to be Veronica Hardy. Now, Veronica Hardy, at the time of recording this video, is sitting at a plus 230 underdog. I think that's crazy, fighting a girl like Jamie Lynn Horth, who's honestly nothing special. And Veronica Hardy in her last fight looked like a different fighter than the same girl that was fighting 3 years ago. Her boxing was on point. Her power was on point. She just looked great in her last fight. I think the time off that she took really improved herself. Usually when fighters take that much time off, they don't come back looking that good. Veronica Hardy came back looking that good. So I could very well see her getting a win here. It would not shock me one little bit. Guys, the next underdog opportunity I have for you is going to be Beneil Dariush. I don't know how crazy you might think I'm being here, but I wholeheartly believe that Beneil Dariush could win this fight. At the time of recording this video, he's sitting at a plus 250 underdog. Beneil Dariush, long story short, long time lightweight contender, He can beat anybody on any given day. He can hang with Arman Tsarukyan in the grappling. He can hang with him in the striking. I think he's a better striker than Arman Tsarukyan. I'm picking Arman Tsarukyan in this fight But I completely see a world where Beneil Dariush just out-grapples him or catches him. Like we see that highlight that we've seen him catch Gamrot with. I could see that happening. I wholeheartedly believe Beneil Dariush has a good chance of winning this fight. It just wouldn't shock me, man. It's a huge step up in competition for Arman Tsarukyan, who hasn't taken on a guy like Beneil Dariush yet, besides like maybe Makhachev, but that has some asterisks towards it. But still, Beneil Dariush, man, I could very well see him coming out on top on this one. Now, the next underdog opportunity I have for you guys is actually going to be Bobby Green. At the time of recording this video, Bobby Green is sitting at, Bobby Green is no longer on my list here. That's very interesting. Okay, I don't know what was going on with that. My apologies, guys. There's a little bit of a lack of professionalism on my end here, but Rob Font, I said Bobby Green and Dan Hooker was just up on my screen. I don't know if they're changing something. Regardless, last time I looked, Bobby Green was an underdog. And again, I'm so sorry about that, guys. I'm so sorry. Like when I was making this video, Bobby Green was an underdog. So assuming he's still an underdog, I could very well see him being faster than Dan Hooker in this matchup. He's coming in with all of the momentum, all the confidence in the world. It's a very close fight, but I can see Bobby Green actually getting a decision here. Now, guys, let's talk about some fights that you should be avoiding, in my opinion. The first one is going to be Punahele Soriano taking on Dustin Stoltzfus. Long story short, anytime Soriano fights, you should stay away from the betting because this guy comes in, he wants to get a knockout. If he doesn't, he'll gas out. You know how many possibilities that could lead to? So that's a big problem. Whenever Soriano's there, I'm like, stay away from it because you don't know what's going to come from this guy. The next fight that I believe you should be staying away from is actually Joe Solecki versus Drakkar Klose. A long story short, guys, this is a striker versus grappler matchup. Joe Solecki is going to try and get this fight to the ground, while Drakkar Klose will probably be able to keep this fight, will be trying to keep this fight on the feet. Klose does have a grappling game in himself, but I would imagine Joe Solecki would have the, much superior grappling game. So, will he be able to get it down? I don't know, because Drakkar Klose definitely has the takedown defense available to stop a guy like Joe Solecki, but Joe Solecki has looked very ruthless on the ground. So, I don't know which way this fight's going to go. That's why I think you should be staying away from it. Guys, the last fight that I believe you should be staying away from is Steve Garcia versus Melquizael Costa. Now, the big question is because Steve Garcia is going to come in there. He's going to come in here wanting to get a knockout. He's going to want to make the fight dirty. He's going to want to go and make that technical brawl happen. But will Melquizael Costa be able to keep him on the outside? Because Melquizael Costa is going to want to throw the calf kicks, throw out the teep, keep him at range, be very elusive, and put on a nice striking display. Will Steve Garcia be able to run through that and still put on that crazy performance that he likes to put on? I don't know. That's why it's really tough to pick. And if you're betting on this fight, in my opinion, it's really risky. Really, really risky because you don't know which fighter is going to implement their game plan. You don't know which fighter is going to come out on top. That's why, in my opinion, you should stay away from it. All right, guys, let's talk lock of the week. The lock of the week is going to be Julia Avila. I don't know how many people are going to agree with me here, but I always said since Miesha Tate came back from retirement, I will forever be betting against her. She looked awful in her last two performances. Like, awful is an understatement. She looked slow. She looked like she wasn't technical. She looked like she had no idea what she was doing. I always thought Miesha Tate was overrated. I always thought that was a fluke that she got the championship. I cannot believe she's still in the UFC. The only reason she's probably still in the UFC is because the way she looks. And even then, she's aging. Like, she's almost 40. She doesn't look like the same Miesha Tate she used to look like. She has the Anthony Smith syndrome. I'm talking like lock of the week, like it's only because of the loser. She has the Anthony Smith syndrome. And of course, I'm paraphrasing here. She doesn't actually say the on-paper stuff. But you know when Anthony Smith loses and he's like, well, on paper, I should have beat this guy. On paper, I destroy this guy. Miesha Tate has that same problem. Miesha Tate will sit there and be like, talk like she's this dominant champion and talk like she's the superior fighter to everybody. And she has the audacity to comment on other people's performances. Like, Miesha Tate is not a good fighter. She never was a good fighter. And now, since she's had a kid, since she took that time off, since she has been back, she has looked like a fighter that belongs nowhere near the UFC. Julia Avila is just your regular WMMA fighter, regular bantamweight fighter. Nothing special stands out about against her. And she's taken some time off, but I have no reason to believe that she won't beat a girl like Miesha Tate. I'd pick anybody in the division against Miesha Tate right now. I think Miesha Tate's delusional, and I think she sucks. And that's why Julia Villa is the lock of the week. All right, guys, let's talk about some potential parlays, because like this is the part of the video where we just like, for fun, why not? Let's see what we can come up with here, because if you guys are interested, again, I will have some actual parlays posted for channel members come the week of the fight. So let's take a look at like some confident picks that I have for you. Let's take a look at Rob Font. Let's put Kelvin Gastelum on here. Let's put, Khalil Roundtree actually is an underdog opportunity. Did I mention Khalil Roundtree? No, he's like, yeah, I should have probably put Khalil Roundtree as an underdog opportunity, because I could very well see him winning that fight. Anyways, let's take Zach Reese, Wellington Turman. That's a toughie. Let's take Julia Villa. Let's take Joaquim Silva. All of that. Whoa. What's that without Wellington Turman? Ooh, I actually might hit this one for a fun parlay, because honestly, an upset's bound to happen when you have a 5-fight parlay, but I like that, man. Almost 10 times your money. Oh my god. I really, really like that. I really like that. Even if you want to take off like Kelvin Gastelum, because we could have the weight miss. Oh, Kelvin Gastelum was really bringing that up. Honestly, this parlay I might hit. I might hit that. I like that. But other than that, I will definitely be doing Miesha Tate over 1.5 rounds. Same with Veronica Hardy. Those two together will probably like have a little bit of minus money, but still, like, Veronica Hardy at 230. If you want to take a look at some underdogs, man, like Beneil Dariush, let's take Kelvin Gastelum as an underdog. Khalil Roundtree, I don't mind. Then you're getting crazy. Oh my god, those three together are 10 times your money. But even if Khalil Roundtree, I should have talked about Khalil Roundtree in this video, because I could very well see him winning this fight. But even if you want to get like to 2-fight parlays, like there are some really good odds right now. There are some really, really good odds. You have Joaquim Silva, Julia Villa together. Oh my god. I'm feeling good about this week, guys. I'm feeling real good about this week. But as in recent times with the UFC, there's bound to be some upsets. Like, Cody Brown just can't win again. There's no way. There's no way. Like, Zach Reese was almost lock of the week. He almost was. There's no way, man. Well, other than that, like, I'm really feeling the Kelvin Gastelum. Like, I might just bet I'm probably going to bet Kelvin Gastelum just by himself. But I got to see the weigh-ins first. Honestly, like, other than that, like, I gotta think Joaquim Silva's gonna win. I keep clicking on these same fighters. Like, I'm just feeling really good about some of these. Like, even just these three together, that's 3 times your money. That's really, really good. There is some huge potential for parlays this time around, guys. Like, I'm really excited for this. But I won't go too crazy on you guys. I've probably talked for a little while on this. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully, we make some good money this time around. Guys, if you're interested, check out the channel membership. You will see my official plays either Thursday or the Friday before the event. I'm very excited. I'm feeling good about this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video on the screen right now. If you'd like to continue watching the Clenbat channel, you'll have 2 videos on screen for you to check out. I will see you either there or in the next video, everybody. Take care.